Let's call a meeting of the Fiscal Court to order. Welcome, everybody. We have Melissa Combs, our Director of Emergency Services. Melissa?
Judge, just a couple of quick items. The first item is our executive order is due for our EOP, that's our Emergency Operation Plan. We update that plan annually. It has been updated to include our changes within our admin, our annex partners. It has also been updated to include our new Tab Q7 reports from our facilities that house and utilize extremely hazardous substances. So I just need your all's approval on that executive order, adopting that as our official emergency operation plan.
All right, and I can read the whole thing. This is something that we do every year. You call them Tab Q7s, is that correct? And they are thick, right?
The Tab Q7s, we are filing approximately 23 of those now, and what that is it's a list of their extremely hazardous substances. It identifies their staging area, it identifies who their point of contact is. They themselves make up a pretty good section of the EOP. The EOP can be reviewed online with the exception of those reports. And we don't have those available online because I feel like if somebody wants to know what our facilities have, they should at least make face-to-face contact with us. But those are open record. Anybody can review those by stopping by and seeing us during normal business hours.
Some of that proprietary, Bob, some of the things that they're in there with the chemicals that we deal with.
Probably. I don't think any of ours are, but some of the other companies I think are.
All right, the executive order reads, whereas KRS 39B 010, Section 1, KRS 39B-030, and KRS 39C 050, and applicable Kentucky administrative regulations require the development and maintenance of a local emergency operations plan, which sets forth the local government organizational structure, policies, procedures, directives, and guidelines for the management and coordination of all disaster and emergency response in Marshall County and its cities. And whereas the Marshall County Emergency Operation Plan is developed to meet the requirements of KRS 39B 010, KRS 39B 030, KRS 39C 050, applicable Kentucky administrative regulations, and to incorporate and institutionalize the provisions of the National Incident Management System, NIMS, in coordination with the National Response Plan pursuant to the Homeland Security Act of 2002 and Homeland Security Presidential Directive 5. And whereas KRS 39B 030, KRS 39B 060, and 39C 050, applicable Kentucky administrative regulations and planning guidance issued by the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management, require the local emergency operations plan be officially approved and adopted by a signed executive order of the Marshall County Judge Executive or Mayor. And whereas the Director of the Marshall County Emergency Management has submitted the Marshall County Emergency Operations Plan to the County Judge Executive for official approval and adoption in accordance with the aforementioned laws, administrative regulations, directives, and planning guidance. Now, therefore, I, Mike Miller, Marshall County Judge Executive, by virtue of the powers and authorities vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and in accordance with the provisions of KRS 39A to 39F, applicable Kentucky administrative regulations, and the Marshall County Emergency Management Ordinance, do hereby order and direct the following. The Marshall County Emergency Operations Plan is officially approved and adoptive effective the date of this executive order as shown herein. Pursuant to KRS 39B 030, the Marshall County Emergency Operation Plan shall be the primary strategic plan document governing the coordination and execution of all disaster and emergency prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery operations in Marshall County, and shall be applicable to, utilized by, and adhered to by all local departments, agencies, and officials in Marshall County. The Marshall County Emergency Operations Plan shall be a document of record for institutionalizing the use of the NIMS-based Incident Command System for purpose of preparedness, response operation, training, and exercises in Marshall County. The conveyance of the official approval and adoption of the Marshall County Emergency Operations Plan through this executive order shall remain continuously in effect from the date of this executive order as shown herein, or until superseded by subsequent executive order promulgated in accordance with KRS 39B-030, KRS 39B-060, KRS 39C-050, applicable Kentucky Administrative Regulations and Planning Guidance issued by the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management. A copy of the officially approved and adopted Marshall County Emergency Operations Plan, including this executive order, shall be placed on file for inspection during the office hours in the Marshall County Emergency Management Office. You've heard the executive order. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve, Judge.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Motion and second. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, this has got to be attested by the county clerk.
My second order of business, Judge, is back a few meetings ago, the rescue squad had asked for approval to surplus the T-Craft vessel and trailer, and that was approved. However, it never really got ran in the paper, so we would like to amend that to include a couple of other vehicles and then get that ran in the paper to surplus. And those two vehicles are a 1980 Ford Econoline van and a 2001 Ford Econoline. Both of those vehicles are not getting utilized, and the squad feels that there's no need in the county covering insurance on vehicles that are not being used to their full capacity. So they are asking permission to surplus those two items as well.
All right, you've heard the request, the Marshall County Rescue Squad. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion, Judge.
Make a motion to allow the rescue squad to surplus those vehicles, run them in the paper, and set a date for bids to be open. Is there a second? Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Mr. Gifford.
Yes, sir, Judge, I have a draw request for WX 2115750. It's in the amount of $40,950. It is to Caldwell Tanks. That is the retainage on the 5% retainage on both tanks, and that concludes our $819,000 contract bid price with them. And the total, Judge, is $40,950.
You've heard the request from the Water Vision 2020 Director Bob Gifford.
Motion approved.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Judge, we have $59,000 left in this fund after this. I have a contract already with Strafer Pumps for the pumping station at Brewers. Then I have a $39,000 contract for the building itself for the pumping station at Brewers. I've asked the city of Benton and Jonathan Creek to install their own telemetry because I'm out of money. I'm going to be about $3,000 shy of being able to fulfill all the contracts that I have. Just some of them were a little higher than the others, but I want to ask them to absorb that cost, that $1,500 a piece as well. So they'll both be out somewhere around $20,000 for their telemetry to finish the two tanks. Also, as we discussed, I'd like to start the application process in the amount of $530,000 to the Delta Regional Authority on behalf of Sanitation District Number 1 for the improvements on their plant.
we've talked about this. Of course, we were assured back in January, was it, Bob?
Yeah.
We met with the Kentucky Department of Parks, the Department for Local Government. Who else was there?
KIA. but have-
All these people, anyway, we were assured that we were gonna be funded in the amount of about $350,000 to do what is necessary, or at least to make improvements to our lift stations at sanitation district number 1. We have not heard anything, and I knew in the budget, it was not put in the budget for the next biennium. So I talked with Mr. Matt Sawyer this morning, who was in the meeting representing I guess Parks.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not there. We just don't have the money. So we went ahead and put him on notice that if it became necessary, that we would have to shut down that operation, because Environmental Protection Agency has really been lenient with us. Mr. Landers and other members of the board out there have been doing all the work to keep this thing operational. We just don't know how long they're gonna let it go. And we've tried to stress that to them time and again. They assured us, and we left there, Bob, I think you'll agree,
Yeah.
that we thought we had had the solution. They assured us the money would be forthcoming. Now we find that no, just not gonna be there. So this is a kind of a last-ditch effort in trying to get funding through the Delta Regional Authority for this. If this doesn't work, we'll just go as far as we can go. That's about bottom line. Is that right, Bob?
Yeah, we have some other alternatives, but we'll try this one and see what happens, and
Certainly compliment Mr. Landers and his board there in Sanitation District Number 1 for all the effort and work that they do with no pay or very little pay.
oh, absolutely. I mean,
And,
those people out there, the commissioners actually do the repair work and don't even charge the district. It's remarkable how well they, and the problem out there, there's only 35 customers besides the park. So those people, there's no way they could absorb that cost of a debt service to be able to extinguish what it would take to put the plant back in place. So outside funds are gonna have to be brought in, or it just, it won't work.
Okay.
The
Thanks,
other
Bob.
thing is I'd like to start an application process through KIA under Fund B for $1 million for Water Vision 2020 projects. And to start that process, I would need a motion from you all to, and what I'm gonna do with this money is I'm gonna complete the Brewers Loop, where we run out to the Y now, and that'll come back down Wadesboro Road. I wanna complete a tie-in with the old West Marshall District into where the Oak Level tank is now, where all of that system is in place. And over in Jonathan, where the new tank at Olive is, we need a larger line on Curd Road coming, and this will complete all of our hydraulic necessities that we have within our plan. But I'd like for you all to authorize me to start the application process through Fund B for $1 million.
All right.
Make a motion, Judge.
We have a motion to allow Mr. Gifford to proceed with an application for Fund B monies for Water Vision 2020. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
That's all I have to do.
All right, thank you. In correspondence from Moody Investor Service, and said, we wish to inform you that on March 29, 2012, Moody Investors Service assigned a rating of A1 to Marshall County, Kentucky General Obligation Refunding Bond Series 2012. In order for us to maintain the currency of our rating, we request that you provide ongoing disclosure of current financial and statistical information. Moody's will monitor this rating and reserves the right at its sole discretion to revise or withdraw this rating at any time in the future. The rating, as well as any revisions or withdrawal thereof, will be publicly disseminated by Moody's through normal print and electronic media and in response to verbal requests to Moody's Rating Service. I think we had to fill out some information and get to them. Is that right, Emily? And we've done that? Okay. So we did receive an A1 rating on the refinancing of the bonds. From the Department of Corrections, this is to Jailer Ford. The Department of Corrections has reviewed the Marshall County Detention Center's plan of corrective action for the first annual inspection. The plan reflects a good faith effort to comply with the standards, and your plans has been accepted as committed. This is from Jeff Burton, from the Division of Local Facilities, Department of Corrections. Some time ago, the Fiscal Court agreed for the WK&T. We went into a franchise agreement with them along with other counties in Kentucky, Callaway, Graves, Carlisle, the city of Wingo, city of Hardin. So I got a memo, and I'll just share it with you. This memo provides notice of programming and pricing changes for WK&T's video service that will be effective May 1st, 2012. These changes will affect all current and new video customers with the franchise area of your county. Several channels, as shown on the accompanying attachment, are being moved from the expanded basic package to the variety tier. Broadcasting rates and video streams will expand the basic package. Current customers will continue to receive 2 video streams at the current rate of $59.95, and additional streams will cost $4.95 for each additional stream. New customers will be charged $64.95 for 1 stream. More than one will be charged $4.95 for each additional stream. While these changes may not meet with everyone's approval, they are necessary due to the changing dynamics from varied video programming sources. It should be noted that WK&T has not raised cable rates since launching video service in 2007. While its programming costs from both national and local programming sources have continued to increase year after year, within the past year, local station retransmission fees, for example, have increased an average of 77%. In summary, the above changes are necessary for WK&T to continue to provide an exceptional programming package for a great value. These above changes also provide a better choice for customers to manage their programming packages and costs to fit their respective needs. This is from Martin Clift, the regulatory manager of the West Kentucky and Tennessee Telecommunications Cooperative. They provide cable service. That's what they provide. I don't know how many customers they have in our county, but anyway, the rates are going to go up. From Mr. Rodney Smith. Rodney has been a member of the Sanitation District Number 2 board for some time. Rodney came by and talked to me and gave me a letter. He said, by this letter, I wish to confirm my verbal resignation from Marshall County Sewer District Number 2. I wish to thank you for your commitment to me to be a member of this board. Due to the fact that I have no property in Sewer District Number 2 any longer, and health reasons, again, I thank you, Rodney Smith. Rodney helped guide us through some very tough times out there. And as you know, we do have a new system, new plant operational, and Rodney did sell his operation there, and appreciate all of his good work that he has done. I have talked to our chairman, Mr. Rodney Travis, and talking with Jeff. We think we have someone who would be willing to serve in Rodney's stead, and so we'll be coming back to the court with a recommendation probably at the next meeting, but again, thanks to Rodney for a job well done. This is a little bit late, but we got to proclaim Arbor Day. Whereas the Commonwealth is blessed with diverse forests that extend from the mountains of the east to the bottomlands of the west, and whereas trees are a renewable resource that gives us many good wood products, and whereas trees help provide clean air and water, wildlife habitat, and natural beauty, and whereas trees in our community moderate temperature, increase property values, and are a source of community pride, and whereas trees and forests are environmentally, economically, and socially important to the Commonwealth. Now therefore, I, Mike Miller, Marshall County Judge Executive, do hereby claim April the 6th, 2012 as Arbor Day in Marshall County. I got this after our last meeting, so I would entertain a motion to proclaim the 6th day of April as Arbor Day. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've had an opportunity to review the minutes of the April 3rd meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of the April 3rd meeting?
Have none, motion approved.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 3rd meeting. Is there a second? Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. At our last meeting, I believe we received the sheriff's settlement. We gave it to you for your review. Emily, do you have any?
No, I agreed with Kevin's numbers at the end that was the overage.
The overage being, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't.
In my payroll report. $35,644.99.
That's
That is-
above what he's paid. I mean, I'm not,
That's the amount that he had left to pay us in payroll. So that's his deficit that he still owes us for payroll for 2011, and he's gotten all income for 2011 at this point.
so what you're asking, we approve the deficit, is that?
Yes. Yeah, approve his settlement and then decide on how to handle the deficit.
So that'd be two separate issues?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. All right. You've had an opportunity to review the sheriff's settlement. Any questions?
How is that broken down? The 30, is it 35? How was that broken down? What was, I know there was a breakdown on those of the overage.
Yeah. Kevin owed, and it's the way he's paid it out. It's in salaries. It's all salary that they owe, that they were to reimburse us. Yeah.
Have you not gotten the reimbursement yet? Are we waiting on other monies to come in, or is it?
No.
We've got everything in we're gonna get in.
So it's yours.
Judge, I'm unclear as to where we are at this moment. Are we approving the settlement or then discussing the overage, or how are we doing this? I wasn't clear on what you said.
Well, if you approve the settlement, you know, we're out 35,000, then we'll have to determine, I guess, where or how we make that up. You know,
But right now, what what you ask us to vote on is the settlement.
As a settlement, that is correct.
I'd make a motion to approve the settlement.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the settlement. Any discussion?
None.
None.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Unanswered nuisance complaints. We talked about this, was it the last meeting? These are complaints that we get in from people who basically don't keep their properties up. I made a call on one just, and I think it was one of the ones you got a call on, Misty, to the realtor that has this piece of property listed. And they told me they were gonna look into taking care of it. Whether or not they did, I don't know. But we get these from time to time. I guess what you're wanting is a clarification, Misty, as to
Yeah,
what-
specifically, you know, the one I'm talking about that we looked at, I guess we looked at it about 6 months ago, so I think this particular homeowner has had ample time to respond. I don't know if it's appropriate to say who we're discussing, but it's the one I referenced. So at the point that it's unanswered, is that something that can be turned over to the court?
Well, like I said, I've always been confused. Me and Jeff talked about this a while ago. The way the process works, I'm supposed to send out this registered letter to the property owner as well as whoever's renting it if it's a rental property. 10 days to respond in writing.
Right.
If there's no response within 10 days, then that's where I was very unclear. He said at this point, I turn it over to the judge, and
Okay.
then the county decides what they want to do with it at that point. If they want to give them time to clean it up, the county immediately wants to go clean it up. Am I correct on that, Jeff?
Yeah, upon the
And
failure,
that's why I've always been unclear on this.
upon the failure, neglect, or refusal to abate by any owner, occupant, or owner of private property who has been notified and ordered to abate with public nuisance within the time set forth above, the Marshall County Fiscal Court is authorized and empowered to remove same and dispose it.
Okay, so we're clear now. Kev takes his steps, they still don't do anything, and then Kev brings it to me and says, Judge, I've gone all I can go. I put the notices
That takes
to,
care of the due process.
the due process has been done. Then at that point, I can order the road department or the refuge department to go out and do what is necessary.
But do understand also that I have other things, in my opinion, that are a little above that. I mean, I get to them when I can get to them. They're not a top priority in my daily duties. Now, I know I try to get to them as quick as I can, and we've got several. And I get to them when I can because there's other things, in my opinion, that are a little bit more important that I need to deal with. That's the biggest issue, is time to get to all these to do them.
How many would you say you have right now?
Probably 30 or better, or more. And they keep coming in. And also, I want some clarification on this. I've got one or two that's come in, and basically all it is people haven't mowed their yards. Is that gonna fit the statute? Or does it fit the ordinance? I
Well,
mean,
that's
there's
one
nothing,
of the calls I got, Kevin.
I mean,
I mean,
there's no.
it might have been something else, but they said, here's what the fellow told me. He said, I've even told the, realtor who signs in the yard,
Mhm.
that I'll mow the yard for such and such amount. And they said, well, we're not authorized to do that.
Well, I don't feel like I think it's a waste of taxpayer monies for us to go mow their yard. And that's where I look at it. Now, if it's got the old abandoned trailers, abandoned cars, white goods, trash everywhere, that's a different story. But if it's, growed up to where it's knee-deep in grass, all it needs is to be mowed, I just think that's a waste of taxpayer money to go mow their yard for them because they won't mow it.
Well,
That's
it's
the way I
difficult to
look at it.
recoup your costs, whereas if you were to be able to go in, how long would the process be, Jeff, if we were to, say there's one particular property owner that we've been holding on for some time, she's had ample amount of time to respond to this, she has several properties. One piece of property has 4 abandoned mobile homes on it. So if we were to want to address that, would the process be to file a lien first, and if so, what type of a process?
Well, you can't
How
file a
long?
lien till you spend the money.
So you have to spend money first and then file a lien on your costs. So if we
Yes.
wanted to do that, would it go by a vote of the court, or is the judge gonna have to handle all that? Is that gonna be something he's going to be shouldered with?
Well, if you, I mean, if you are, you know, choosing based on, you know, availability of personnel and all, or availability of monies, I mean, the court can participate, but I believe the judge has the authority to do that.
That,
Once,
that works for me. I
Well,
just,
what do you-
we have so
but
many
what do
just
you-
hanging out there.
Well, that's true. And we talked about this before, and the abandoned mobile homes.
Yes.
We have no way of disposing of them.
Well, there's
What
several.
do we do? You know, we've had this discussion before as to,
I think we put a cost
What
to
do
it,
we
about
do with
$1,000. People that own mobile home parks in the community have said it's about there's a couple. And they charge about,
I don't know what the exact charge is.
so it's about $1,000 to $1,500 on average is what people have been paying, which I think we could easily have returned to us in the form of a sale of the property once it's cleaned. I mean, these properties are worth something. People in the communities are even willing to buy the properties. They've tried to buy the properties, and in this case, I know that to be true because they're already improved properties. They have utilities on them. They're worth something. Somebody could come in and move a trailer in and have a rental property that was worth something. But right now, it's just nothing but an eyesore in these communities. So if we could at least establish a protocol for how to be handled, that would at least be something to go back to these community members and tell them, here's what we're going to do, because we keep doing nothing.
If we do place the liens, how long before we can actually foreclose on to get recoup our money? See, that's
I
the
don't
biggest
think-
issue I'm looking at right
There
there.
may be a
is-
30-day holdover, but if that exists, I don't even think that exists on this lien.
But you'd have to file the foreclosure suit.
Yeah, you have, I mean, you're talking at least 90 days, if not 6 months, depending on getting service and, because you'd have to file a lawsuit to enforce it to be sold. And if there's taxes and everything else or another liens, most of them, that's gonna come in front of you. You may not get your money.
I mean, I think we need to evaluate it, but at least if we did one or two and just set a precedence that we're willing to do something, you know, but I think we just keep going month to month, and these members of the community say, why do we even have an ordinance if we're not gonna use it? And you know, I can't answer that question.
I still say if the judicial system would cooperate with us, that'd take care of a lot of it. But
I don't know. I know we have an ordinance, and it looks to me like we could, you know, maybe go through the ones that we have existing that have not been compliant and look at the ones that might be the easiest to address and have the judge decide if he thinks any of those would be some that we could take action on and then go from there. But at least we would be doing something.
well, and I think we need to have maybe a clearer process. I mean, I don't know.
It's pretty
We
clear.
finally got one that finally did something, but how many years did it take, Kevin, to get to one? I mean, I know I wrote letters,
I mean,
how
the
many phone
letters and
calls
all,
you
the
did?
one letter is all that's necessary.
I understand. I
And then
understand,
once
but
that
generally
10
that
days
don't
runs, you
work.
can do what you want.
Well,
I mean, it appears that, you know, in an effort to accommodate, you know, these property owners and let them try to abate the nuisance, that's what it's turned into. I mean, you don't have to do that.
But I think they feel like they don't have to do anything because we're not going to do anything about it. And, you know, I know you worked closely trying to get the folks in Possum Trot to comply, and that took months. I don't know, I think.
more than months,
Yeah.
it took years.
Well, I mean, just in the process where they were actually returning calls,
Yeah.
you know, it was still month after month. So, maybe going in and reminding people that we are gonna take action on things, I don't know, would set precedents.
Criminal penalties remain in that ordinance.
yeah,
Pardon
they're still there.
Criminal penalties, do they still remain?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but
That's
you know
all
the
I ever
trouble me
reckon.
and you've had with that in the
That's
past.
that's how I've
what I'm
argued
talking
with
about.
them during the time I was
Judicial
there,
system
but
won't cooperate with us.
it's tough.
Yeah.
So that, in my opinion, a fine or two would cure a lot of that.
Yeah. Yes.
Question, are fines not associated with the ordinances? I mean, continuous fines? Can you not fine the property owner if they don't comply?
Well, we can't.
We can't, but the judiciary can. That's what Kevin says he's having a problem with, is getting the fines levied. We can't, we don't have the authority to levy a fine. This court doesn't. I mean, we can have the ordinance sending out the penalties, but then the judiciary has to do that.
And like I
So-
said, when Commissioner Anderson was sheriff, we've tried that and it don't work.
Was,
I was gonna ask if you, the same question, could you levy a fine and then foreclose on the fine, sell the property on the
Well,
fine?
see, the-
Probably streamline that.
No, once you, I mean, if you charge criminally, there's a, not less than 25 or more than $300, on the fines. You couldn't, the court would then have its contempt powers in collecting that fine. Now, first of all, if this property owner's out of state, it's a misdemeanor, you can't touch them, because you can't extradite on a misdemeanor.
see, that's what we ran into, Kevin, if you recall, on a lot of the abandoned mobile homes. Well, it's not mine. These people put it here, they've left, we don't own it. And then but the property owner still got some liability, I would think. I mean,
Maybe just a monthly review. I
people
mean,
go in and get all the copper and everything they can get out of them that's of any value and just leave a shell. We can't burn them because, I mean, we thought it would be some good training for our fire departments, to burn them. But they said, no, you can't do that. The state fire marshal says, most of them has asbestos and you can't do that. Well, they don't want you burying it because it's got asbestos, so what are you gonna do with them? We've hit that brick wall time and again and again. And I know our realtors, you go out and try to show a piece of property that's a nice piece of property, but on both sides of it, you've got abandoned manufactured homes. And it really, most people just say, well, we're not, you got anything else to show me? Am I right? I mean, is that, yeah, yeah.
And I know there's at least one company here in the county that's willing to will take them.
Can we set a process in place where every month the sheriff brings in, like the first of the month, the nuisance complaints that are unanswered, and the court or the judge review them? And we may not be able to do something immediately with some of them, but I know that some of them can be
Right.
addressed.
I mean, once that 10 days, or once that time limit passes, it's strictly
And
up to the
it
court.
may just take setting that precedence to,
Well, let me ask you this, yeah. Some of
Get
those
compliance.
complaints that I get in, people are taking pictures themselves and sending them with us. The way the statute reads, me or a designee has to go out and inspect that property. That's my biggest issue, that my guys don't have the time to do it, and like I said, I've got to budget my time on other things as well.
can we not do that as commissioners within our districts and present that to the court if a complaint is,
I mean, the ordinance sets out that you gather the evidence. If that's based on one of them getting you information,
Well, that'll
whatever
make it,
evidence that's reliable.
That'll make it a heck of a lot easier, instead of me having to go myself, take pictures myself.
Yeah,
have to,
it just,
yeah.
you just need to be certain what because you're gonna be taking that property away from somebody. Your evidence needs to be reliable.
Well, that'll make the process a lot easier then.
And you may have to provide security at some point too. During the process.
Oh,
if you were to get a complaint, basically, we could help in the field work of it, taking photos of the property and providing those to you, basically.
That's the biggest issue, is that me having the time to go out to each individual one. Like I said, I've got 30 or 40 backed up right now
No.
with other things that I've got going on. Of course, y'all all know the things that have been going on the last couple of months with me. I'm short-handed in places, and I actually go work shifts.
Okay.
to help that.
Based on your other question, KRS 381-770, under the list of nuisances, rubbish or the excessive growth of weeds or grass.
Okay.
I mean, I still think that you can prioritize. There's nothing that says that, you know, these are, this just, it, you know, it's got,
Well, Did
cars and
Mr.
junk.
Mr. Attorney define excessive growth?
One thing,
Is there not an abandoned property statute also?
that's part of the same thing.
Yeah.
The other part of that is about cars and abandoned property.
So
That
could we
works.
do
Yeah,
that?
that's
Could
all
we review them
inclusive.
monthly? Could you bring them in monthly, the ones
Sure.
that are non-compliant, and just,
Sure.
and we can at least say that we've seen them, we know the status.
Okay.
And-
I don't have no problem with that.
Okay. Any other old business? All right, let's move into new business. We have a report from our cemetery committee. They have cleaned up Stiers Homes and Smothers Cemetery, replaced fence railing and parts, straightened fences, cut up and removed debris. The board approved a payment of $1,650 for the cleanup of those cemeteries. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion?
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on the motion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. The Association of Tennessee Valley Governments, of which we are a member, has asked that each of the 201 counties in the 7-state TVA service region adopt a resolution supporting legislation to reform the Inland Waterway Trust Fund. Now, the Inland Waterway Trust Fund, part of that money is for a 50-50 cost share between the private sector and federal government in things like the replacement of the lock at Kentucky Dam in Chickamauga. I'll just read the resolution. Whereas the Association of Tennessee Valley Governments represents local governments within more than 200 Tennessee Valley River counties who closely monitor issues that impact regional economies. And whereas ATVG is concerned with funding levels of the Inland Waterway Trust Fund, which was established to fund construction and major rehabilitation projects on the inland waterways, providing for a 50-50 cost share between the private sector and the federal government. And whereas the Inland Waterway Trust Fund has failed to provide adequate funding for vital and necessary infrastructure investments, resulting in a much-needed water resource projects going underfunded, including 2 capital projects identified as among the highest priorities, the Chickamauga Lock and the Kentucky Lock. And whereas these 2 specific locks on the Tennessee River serve Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and greatly impact the economy of many regions of the Tennessee River Valley. And whereas legislation is being considered that reform the Inland Waterway Trust Fund and seeks to replenish funding and jumpstart necessary capital improvement projects while preserving the existing 50-50 cost-sharing responsibility for new construction and major rehabilitation projects for these projects costing $100 million or more. And whereas the legislation does not seek an increase in the existing fuel tax for the barge and towing industry to be matched by the federal government, and whereas the barge and towing industry has concerns about the alternative approaches to increased revenue, such as a lockage fee, and whereas action is urgently needed to avoid further deterioration of our inland waterway infrastructure. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Association of Tennessee Valley Governments that we support this much-needed reform of the Inland Waterway Trust Fund and request the congressional delegation of the Tennessee River Valley to vote for this legislation. Gentlemen, I certainly support this resolution because one of the key projects that we're talking about is the Kentucky Lock. As I told you after my meeting in Mobile last August, Kentucky Lock is set to be mothballed in the year 2013, along with Chickamauga. Chickamauga's fallen in the river. Bob, I don't know if y'all do business that far down or not, or upriver, but these are two vital projects if we're going to continue river traffic. And it just, I've called everybody I know to call. We've spent over $600 million to date on the Kentucky Lock. And to walk away from it, they've already got a batch plant set up there. And I'm sure the contractor is not gonna leave that batch plant there if they walk away. We're talking a lot of jobs, and we're talking about a vital link for the Tenn-Tom Waterway all the way to the Port of Mobile. So I would entertain a motion to support the resolution of the Association of Tennessee Valley Governments.
Make a motion to approve resolution, Judge.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Do you have the, yeah. We have the refuse, budget. I don't know if all of you have got a copy of it. I believe you do. Total expenses, $292,292,000. This includes a $200,000 loan to the district in case they need it. They have looked at, and of course we know they're gonna have to buy a new truck this year, compactor truck, and we're looking at doing a 5-year lease. They're looking at spreading that out over a period of 5 years instead of doing it all at once, based on whether or not what the numbers show. It could be that we'll want to borrow the money from CAECO and buy it outright if it's going to be too costly to lease purchase. But you have a copy of their proposed budget. I'd entertain a motion on the refuse budget for FY 12-13.
When is the deadline for this to be approved? Do we have is it same as ours?
Yes, I believe so. Mailing in the special districts, June 30th is the filing date. Yeah, so you have time to
We
review.
have time to review if you want to review.
I'd rather do that and because we're having a budget workshop of ours, so.
Yes.
If it's not rushed, I'd rather do that.
Court, you all had asked that we
Get
bring
these in.
get
Right.
them in a month in advance so we have
Right.
time to review them. So that's
So
what.
you want to make a motion just
the
to
district
table,
did.
Terry, till we
Make a
have?
motion to table until.
Okay, all right. Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We have our annual bid openings. In our paper of record, Tribune Courier, the Marshall County Fiscal Court will be accepting sealed bids on the items listed below until 9 a.m. April the 17th. All bids must be submitted to the Marshall County Judge Executive's Office, Marshall County Courthouse, Benton, Kentucky. First item, Class 1 bituminous asphalt material per ton in place and equipment for July 1, 2012 through June 30th, 2013. All asphalt must be completed by October 31 unless permission for an extension is given by Mr. Russell York. The material must meet the latest Kentucky Bureau of Highway specifications. Is this the only bid we got? What's
Some
this?
part of them just say that they're, just seal bids, and I'm not too sure from further down. So some of them I don't know where they're from, so.
It looks like this is the only bid. I'm not sure of this one from Tompkinsville. Let me look real quick. That's a culvert bid, okay, okay. All right, we have, from Smith Contracting, Grand Rivers, Marshall County bid for asphalt material, Class 1, surface, $73 per ton. Bituminous Class 1 base, $69 a ton. We offer you a unit price bid that is tied to the Kentucky Asphalt Price Index. Our bid prices are based upon the Kentucky Asphalt Price Index as of December 2010. This index is updated monthly and will be used to determine the actual unit price for asphalt mixture when it is placed. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Form TC 63-53 is included for your reference and review. We have filled in part of this form with sample data so that you might see the impact of any future changes in the cost of liquid asphalt. The information available on Kentucky's website shows a price index of $593.13 per ton in April of 2012. The table form on TC 6353 will give you the amount per ton. The price would increase or decrease compared to a change in the Kentucky Asphalt Index. We will use this formula to determine any price changes. The formula can be found in section 109.07-01 of the Kentucky 2008 Standard Specifications for Road and Bridge Construction. Please note, the price index has to change 5% before any adjustment is made. All adjustments are based on the price index used at bid date compared to the price index when mix is placed. The supplement must be made part of our bid proposal. Yeah. For bituminous one, $73 per ton, laid and rolled, Class 1 base, $69 a ton. That is up from last year, isn't it, Russell? Yeah. What's your pleasure? It's the only bid you got.
I don't think you can get any better on a rebid, do you? You think you might as well just accept it?
You're not gonna get any more bids than what you've got.
Alright,
It's the only game in town.
alright. Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Purchase of number 9M White Rock dense grade, number 3 White Rock, number 11 White Rock, 6-inch riprap, and number 125 riprap. They seal them up, they seal them up. This is from Vulcan Materials. I think this is the only bid we got. Huh?
No. There's 3 of them, I
Oh,
think.
okay. That's a culvert bid, that has nothing to do with stone.
Oops.
Okay, yeah, here's one. From Vulcan Material. Nine-M white rock, $10 per ton. Dense grade 744 per ton. Number
744?
744. Number 3, white rock, 825 per ton. Number 11, white rock, $9 per ton. 6-inch riprap, $9.75 per ton. 125 riprap, $9.75 per ton. Cost for delivery, $4 a ton. We normally haul our own, don't we, Russell? We don't use their haul, so. 9M's 10, dense grade 744, number 3's 825, number 11 9, number 6 riprap 975, 125 riprap 975, and $4 per ton delivery. This bid is from Cal Resources. Calex Resources. We are requesting that number 8 stone be accepted as a replacement for the 9M stone. We have attached a gradation specification sheet with our average gradation for number 8 stone compared to the Kentucky state specification for 9M and 8M stone. Their price is white rock, and it's 8 instead of 9, is $8.75 per ton. Their dense grade, $8 per ton. Number 3, white rock, $8.50 per ton. Number 11s, they don't bid. Riprap, number 6 is $9.70. 125 riprap, $9.70. Cost for delivery, $4.30 per ton. The address of bidder 877 Dover Road, Grand Rivers. Is this the old Martin Marietta quarry?
No,
It's not.
it's a brand new one.
It's a new quarry.
Yes.
Okay. Russell, I will need you to look these over. Some it looks like they're cheaper, but I don't know about, we did not bid number 8 at all, so they're asking that be accepted as a replacement for the 9M white rock.
Didn't bid 11 even.
They didn't bid, well, didn't bid 11 at all.
And I guess it'll matter about your drive too. I'm not sure where they're located. I'm not sure where the quarry's located.
Dover Road.
Dover Road is,
Yeah,
I'm Terry
Title, I work
Yeah.
materials.
yeah,
Happen to know about that's competition for us, which, all our community. But probably your haul would be pretty close to the same. Might be a couple of miles further out to them, but they're on 453.
or like you
You know
going to
where hometown-
Smithland, Terry,
yeah,
when
you know
you,
where hometown market's at?
yes,
It's less than a mile past that.
okay.
Yeah.
It's, okay,
Yeah.
it's right across.
So it's not that much,
And I would like to add, I'm actually in technical services, the gradations and all
uh,
that, to help you on the 8s and 9Ms. They are too particular, if you chip and seal, 8s do not work as well, which you would probably know that, they have a lot more fines in them. The 9s are much coarser, and that's why they're higher priced material too,
yeah,
and they're small.
okay. Okay, let Russell take a look at these. Of course, we've done business with Vulcan, before. Let's see what this is. Yeah,
antifreeze.
lubricant and antifreeze. Well, let's go with this, one. The purchase of AE 90 oil bids must meet the latest Kentucky Bureau of Highway specification. I'm assuming this is. Did I say AE 90? That's what this is then. One, two. From Midwest Terminal of 725 North Fifth Street, Paducah. I'm not sure I'm understanding this at all. This is their fuel bid, and for antifreeze, it doesn't say anything on there about AE 90 oil. It said,
90 oil will be the oil that we use for our patcher.
well, I understand, but they say you've got, they're
Midwest
bid-
probably won't even bid that.
huh?
Midwest probably won't bid that AE 90 oil.
Set that back for number 4. Here's a bid on AE 90. I'm assuming that's what it is. This is from Asphalt Materials of Elizabethtown. We're pleased to submit our prices for emulsified asphalt AE 90. The Marshall County Road Department, all prices are per gallon. Delivered prices include delivery to any point in Marshall County and tanker truck load lots for the 2012-2013 fiscal year. Delivered product is $2.38 per gallon. $2.38 per gallon. It's submitted by Tim Crutcher, Asphalt Materials. That's the only bid we got there, I think. Okay. Now we'll go to the gasoline bid.
Want to get a motion on that?
Oh, yeah. We only had one bid. Do we entertain a motion to accept the bid for Kentucky, or Asphalt Materials, Inc. on AE 90 oil?
Make that motion, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no.
Is that where you get it now, Russell?
Yes.
Yeah, so far.
All right, for gasoline and diesel fuel, gasoline markup per gallon, 87 octane, 12 cents. Summer winter additive, 2 cents, 0.02 cents. And this is based, I guess, on Opus price. Their antifreeze in bulk, 55-gallon drum, $6 per gallon, $330 per drum. Midwest Terminal. Their synthetic blend, 15W40, bid price $11.02 a gallon.
What kind of oil is that?
I have no clue.
What kind of oil is that, Russell? I know.
That hydraulic oil?
No, motor oil.
15W40 synthetic, $17.44 a gallon. Tractor hydraulic, $8.60 per gallon. Lithium-based grease, number 2 grade, $2.60 per pound, or $312 per keg. 14-ounce tubes, $2.43 per tube.
How much a tube?
$2.43. GL4 gear oil, SAE GL5. Bid price $1.83 per pound, $64.05 per pail. That's for the 35-1. And for the 121, $1.86 per pound, $223.20 per keg. Synthetic blend, $8.86 per gallon, $4.87 per drum. 5W30 synthetic, $13.50 a gallon, $742.50 per drum.
What is that? Synthetic blend,
It's not pure synthetic, it's just
motor oil?
the 1540.
No, the last one he just read.
5W30.
Oh, 5W30.
Trans oil, 50 synthetic, $4.54 per pound, $158.90 per gallon. Now, wait a minute. That's per pail. And the bid price per gallon is $31.78 per gallon. This is confusing as the dickens. DEF additive. You use that, I'm assuming, Russell, okay.
It's a separate sheet for each one.
That's, 307 a gallon, $168.85 per drum. That's your fuel and oil bids from Midwest Terminal, Paducah, Kentucky.
Have y'all been using synthetic?
Synthetic blend.
Synthetic blend. So when they came in a couple years ago, what was it Shell that came in? Mr. Farrell, I guess, that made that presentation. I don't think you were here. Gary was. Was his proposal going all synthetic? Because he said there was a money savings. I'm just curious to know if going.
I'm not sure. All that was Midwest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that was synthetic blend plus synthetic,
Did the bid call for specifically synthetic, or the bid
No.
specs, did it call for synthetic? I'd just be curious to know if we had a bid that called for synthetic, if you would get some more bids, because I know that there was other,
Isn't there some more bids from different people? Or is that the only one?
Not for fuel that I can see. Well, wait a minute, Partnership Energy, I don't know what this is. This is out of Nashville.
Fuel plus cents over rack.
All right, they didn't bid anything on the gasoline, didn't bid anything on the diesel. $15W40 synthetic blend. $81535. You tell me what that.
$8.15, 8.1535.
Extreme. And he says 5W40, we call for 15W40. Bid price of $14.80 per gallon. Tractor hydraulic. Bid price per tote, $1,853.93. Lithium-based grease, $294.84. 14-ounce tubes, $227 each. GL4 gear oil, $54.24, and 120-1. You know what that is, Russell? 195.05. Synthetic blend, 5W30, $408.87 per 55-gallon drum.
How much?
408.87. 5W30 synthetic. I don't know what the difference here is, but it says five. It's the same thing, but that drum price is $618.16.
That's a synthetic blend.
All right, this is all right. Strictly synthetic. One is a blend. Trans-Oil 50 synthetic. $136.05. Bid price per gallon $27.21. DEF additive 55-gallon drum, $128.21. antifreeze, 55-gallon drum, $460.15 per drum. Let y'all figure out what's the best there. And that was from Harmon Energy out of Nashville. Next is the purchase of metal pipe. 12, 15, 18, 24, 36, 48, and 60-foot diameter. Bids must meet the Kentucky Highway specifications. It's bid from Cotter Ready Mix out of, that's for concrete. From Hagen Stone,
We have a warehouse in Paducah too. Jones Steel in Paducah, Hagen Stone's a home warehouse.
oh, okay, yeah.
Current supplier at this time.
Ricky Kendall?
Yes.
Okay. 12-inch 16 gauge, $8.50 per foot. 15-inch 16 gauge, $10.20 per foot. 18-inch 16 gauge, $12.75 per foot. 24 14 gauge, $20.40 per foot. 36 12 gauge, $41.65 per foot. 48 12 gauge, $55.25 per foot. And 60 10 gauge, $87.55 per foot. Now with polymer coating, the first one was without polymer coating. The second numbers are with polymer coating. The 12-inch 16 gauge, $11.90 per foot. The 15, 14.28 per foot. 18, 17.25 per foot. 24 14 gauge, $28.56 per foot. 36 12 gauge, $58.31. 48 12 gauge, $77.35 per foot. And 60 10 gauge, $122.57. This is from Hagen and Stone. Next is metal. This is Corporate Midwest. They are out of Jefferson City, Missouri. It's metal culverts. Their price, 12-inch 16 gauge, $7.92. 15 16 gauge, $9.97 per foot. 18 16 gauge, $11.84. 24 by 14 gauge, $19.94. 36 12 gauge, $40.94. 48 12 gauge, $54.65. And 60 10 gauge, $87.67. with polymer coating. The 12-inch 979, 15 1232, the 18 1463, 24 is 2464, 36 5060, 48 6754, 60 10 gauge 10835. Let Russell look these over. We'll get back on those old Russell to review them before we. This one is.
That's the asphalt. Just make sure these are all.
You have one bid on Timber Bridge products from Kentucky Timber Bridge. Pretty standard, it's so much linear board feet depending on the size of the bridge. Hardware $7.95 per pound in addition. It's the only bid. Do I hear a motion?
Russell, are we using wooden bridges anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a benefit to using a wooden bridge over like a concrete or I mean longevity? I know there's probably a cost savings, but is there a longevity wise, I guess?
It is if you use the right type of material. These that we use are guaranteed for 50 years. We've never had one to be downgraded.
How many of those do you think we have like a
You may use one a year.
One a year.
Two, yeah, one or two. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye. Any opposed, no.
If we have any particular, I mean, if we want to, we can always bid.
Oh, sure, you
We
can
can
do
always
anything.
bid. I mean, this is the annual bid. We can always bid for another type or whatever. The main difference, I think, is because we can do, a lot of the time, can do some of the work ourselves.
Most
on
of it.
that, which
Yeah.
is not probably, you couldn't do on a concrete bridge, I'm pretty sure.
save some in
They're, it'd have to be engineered and
Purchase of concrete. We have one bid from Federal Materials, Darrell Fike. I'm just gonna read you what they say here because some of y'all might understand it. 5-bag mix, 3,000 pound strength with 5.5% air. Bid should be submitted with cost per yard and in place, $87.65 per yard. 6-bag mix, 4,000 pound strength with 5% air. Bid should be submitted with cost per yard in place, $89.43 per yard. Commercial fiber, submitted at price per yard, $7 per yard. Minimum 4 yards of load, any place requested in Marshall County. Submitted by Federal Materials, Wayne Sullivan Drive, Paducah.
I think Cotter.
Do we have a Cotter? Yeah, we got one more.
Concrete.
We got two more. We got East Side, I think. Cotter Concrete out of Metropolis, Illinois. Same thing, 5-bag mix, $82 per yard. 6-bag mix, $88 per yard. Commercial fiber, $8 per yard. Cotter. East side septic tank and concrete, I believe that's what that is, yeah. This is out of Mayfield. Their bid, the 5-bag mix, $81.45. 6-bag mix, $88.45. Commercial fiber, $6. Fuel surcharge of $15 per load added due to fuel prices. The others did not add that. That was added, that is from, East Side Septic Tank and Concrete, 1822 South, Route 58 East, Mayfield. Those are all pretty close, but this is the only one that added the $15. Russell, look at it.
Be over $1 a yard addition.
On striping, this is from BSC, Brim Striping Company. Is that who we've been using, Russell? Okay. Of Eddyville. 12 cents per linear foot. 12 cents per linear foot, is that about what we've
I
been?
think so.
Since that's the only bid there, do I hear a motion? I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. This one is approved. We did not get a bid on the CDL random drug testing to be performed. I guess we can talk about that later, let's take a little break and let Russell take a look at the ones, that,
We have executive session, Judge, why don't we do that while he's doing
all right,
review?
all right.
Motion to go into executive session.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second? Motion and second, all in favor say aye. All right, be in executive session. Talk to us, Mr. Russell.
Midwest Terminal's got the gas, diesel, and
Hold on a minute,
all right,
that's for the gas and,
diesel and antifreeze. There was the best.
Current low?
Yes.
all right, you heard the recommendation, what's your pleasure?
Motion to accept their bid.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Parman Energy had the oils and the grease.
Harmon,
Parman is what it looks like.
Harmon Energy, oil and the grease.
Yes. Hydraulic oils, motor oils.
Where is that?
Camden, Tennessee, I believe is what it said.
Make a motion to accept their bid.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Carter Concrete, looks like would be be the best price on it.
Concrete bid awarded to Cotter, is that out of Metropolis, Illinois?
Well, they've got one right here at Calvert too.
Okay,
Motion to accept the bid, Judge.
have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
The rock beds, it was kind of split, but the one we used the most of and everything, Vulcan, was a low bid on it.
You heard the motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I was gonna ask a question.
All right,
He said that, did they have the low bid on everything, or did was?
The most.
Or is he
The
saying
most of what we used the most of, they had the,
he's recommending Vulcan
Yes.
for all of it?
that is
for all of
correct.
it.
Okay.
We have a motion, is there a second? Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
On the culvert bid, Hagan and Stone is a little higher than the other one, but the other one's got a $3,500 minimum order. And we've dealt with Hagan and Stone, and when I order a culvert, they'll have it here within the week, and I'd like to recommend them.
All right, heard the recommendation of the road superintendent, what's your pleasure?
Most of the bids, weren't they, Judge?
Yeah, they're real close.
Well, not much difference.
No,
Right.
Okay.
Plus, the other outfit's got a $3,500 minimum dollar order.
Motion to approve the bid.
All right, motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
How much we
Is that it?
using the coating?
This one, 48 inch and up.
Is that working okay? I know we seem to lose a lot of tile along
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
The little ones, we don't think we need them on the.
Well, that's the way, they've always done it. And I mean, I'm sure, Ricky, you might have a kind of a lifespan on the difference, do you?
The polymer coated, of course, the regular galvanized, they're a 10 to 15-year pipe. Depending on how much acid's in the soil, that can change.
Yeah.
They can rust out 8 years or 5 years,
Yeah.
depending on the acid in the soil. Polymer coated is supposed to be double the life.
That's what I was wondering, if it wouldn't be worth the extra in a lot of cases. We might ought to look at that.
Okay.
Right,
Most of the other counties, the smaller pipe, for some reason, they stick with the galvanized, but bigger pipe, they usually do those.
well,
But it's easier to replace them. That's mainly, I guess, go in and dig them out and replace them probably.
all right. Thank everybody for their bids. Let's move now to ENO Fire Protection District. We have,
We skipped.
what?
Special
Oh, I'm sorry, whoops. Special election for, as you know, the petition has been submitted to the county clerk. It has been certified, submitted to me for a vote on the wet-dry issue. A petition having been filed on March the 29th, 2012, in the Marshall County Clerk's Office pursuant to KRS 242020, requesting that a local option election be held in the County of Marshall, and the county clerk having verified that the petition contains a number of constitutionally qualified voters of Marshall County equal to 25% of the votes cast in the County of Marshall in the last preceding general election. Further, pursuant to KRS 242030, Section 2 and 3, in determining a statutorily appropriate date for a local option election, it is hereby ordered that said local option election be held in the County of Marshall, County, Kentucky, on Tuesday, July 17th, 2012. The conduct of the election will be governed by all applicable statutes, rules, and regulation. A referendum on the election ballot will ask, are you in favor of the sale of alcoholic beverages in Marshall County? So we were set the election July the 17th, 2012.
With that, with the reading of the ordinance at 30, 60, 90 days, it appears it does not fit with July 17th, but there is, because of the primary, the date, you don't start counting till after that primary. For that reason, it's in July. You can't have it within
Got to be
30
within
days
so
of the
many
primary.
days and then within 90 days.
Yes, so, it
we-
just set out past the primary
Yeah.
because of the primary.
Is that
This-
all this is gonna say, Judge? Is there no way
Yes.
for him to?
No,
to-
sir.
Anybody know exactly what it entails?
No.
Or what type of facilities or,
This is the question that will be on the ballot.
okay.
Well, we're setting up the process, setting up some informational sessions. I got the packets in yesterday that I'm going over. There's, the description that the Supreme Court's given these regulations are that they're a maze of obscure statutory language. So,
I talked yesterday with Virginia Davis. She is the chief counsel, I suppose, for the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission. And Steve Humphreys will be coming to the county. I don't know when. She was talking about in July, early July. I asked her if we could move that to June, sometime in June. So I'm gonna talk with Mr. Humphreys to see, because he wants to come down and have a meeting here and at Murray in one trip, because our elections will be on the same day. Now,
and he has a very involved PowerPoint presentation I've been looking over as well.
well, the stuff they sent me is about as confusing as, because as Virginia said, rules come into play, rules change every day, I guess, with the ABC. So, we'll get these folks in here and, try to get as good an understanding as we can, but
Jeff, will those be public meetings? When I spoke to him, he made it sound as if they're public
Yes.
meetings. They are.
Virginia, Davis asked that, that Jeff, that we meet with him privately prior to
Yeah.
a public meeting, but that we do have a public meeting, and I told her I'd like to get it advertised, and it may be that the courtroom we might wanna hold it somewhere besides the courthouse. It might be that,
I think one of the groups is planning on having a forum, where they've asked me to come and speak on May 2nd at Benton Middle School gym.
well, that may be where we wanna hold it, either at the high school gym or something, so we can accommodate everybody that wants to be there. Don't wanna leave anybody out.
Judge, I think it's important too that they made it very specific that neither the proponents of or opposition of could request that the ABC come in and do these informational sessions. It is strictly to be
Right.
requested by city or county government, so that they don't take a position either way. That way people know that they're not coming down for either side.
Well, the way I understood Miss Virginia, they will come one time. Okay?
Judge, as I understand it by statute, I am to advertise of this election. Did that advertisement cost come out of my budget, or does it come out of the election budget?
Jeff, do you have the answer to that?
It's
Because
not,
I'm
the statute doesn't specify.
I know the election cost will come out of the county clerk's office. Well, it will bear the cost, because Tim estimated the cost of this special election to be $32,000. So, whether that's included in that cost or not, Sheriff, I do
Let's see
not know.
what
Exactly.
I say,
I'll
can I get
ask
some
the question.
clarification on that? Cause I mean, that's a added expense that I didn't count on.
Nor did we. Jeff, you could research that and give us an answer.
I should have it here in just a moment.
All right. Let's get back. Do I hear a motion to, well, this is an executive order. I guess I just need your permission to place this on the ballot.
Yeah, I think the county clerk has to provide that, to certify that and provide the sheriff within 5 days, and then that's when your statutory duties kick in.
Just a motion approving the executive order.
Still an answer.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. That goes to Tim. All right. E&O Fire Protection District. We have had a resignation from the E&O Fire Board. The Elva Oak Level Fire Department recommends Audrey Henson of 5164 Wadesboro Road to replace Philip Pennington, who has recently resigned. He resigned due to health reasons. Let me see when his term would. The term would run through June 30th, 2014, for Audrey Henson. That's their recommendation. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept their recommendation.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion. Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Animal Shelter Report. This is the monthly report for March. Animals in the pen as of 2/29/12/45. Animals brought in by wardens 24. Animals brought in by citizens 56. Total of 80 animals, 27 dogs, 20 cats, 28 puppies, 5 kittens. Animals adopted 66, animal in foster care 2, animals reclaimed 7, total euthanized 2, animals in the pen as of March 31st, 53. Donations are 686, adoption fees 900, total money received $1,586. All right, let's move into accounts receivable report. Emily?
For 2011, as we discussed earlier, the sheriff owes $35,644.99. For 2012, the sheriff owes $354,131.28 at this point. The county attorney's office owes $7,351.71 for a total of $361,482.99 for 2012.
That's what's due the county, right?
Correct.
All right. Let's move on to budget appropriation transfers.
You've all been given a copy of our budget appropriation transfers.
Do you need approval, excuse me, do you need approval on payroll receivable report? You do, don't you?
Yeah, I would like.
All right, yes. All right, let's go back. We need a motion to approve the accounts receivable report from Emily. What's your pleasure?
Motion approved, Judge.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, Emily, is the intra-fund
Interfund transfer
transfer.
report.
It's from the occupational tax administrator, the occupational tax plan. This is what I'm asking for.
Little interfund. Okay, I thought we were doing budget appropriations.
No, oh, I skipped one, so.
That's okay. Interfund transfer, I need to move from occupational tax admin to the occupational tax fund, $100,000 to cover bills.
Motion approved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, now, budget appropriation transfers.
Budget appropriation transfers, these have to zero out, so there's not really a total to give you. We will be moving $251,172.92 out of reserves to cover overages accounts and to put into, the appropriation line item to cover for the judicial building, or, I'm sorry, excuse me, Sheriff's Office 911 jail complex roofing. And the other, it will also take $306,880 out of the occupational tax fund reserves to cover the additional overages as listed above. And, road department's overages, this is also puts money into their equipment line item for the tractors and mowers that we're anticipating getting anytime, is a total transfer is $190,000. This will currently leave in reserves. Occupational reserves would be $113,581.53, and road fund reserves would be $107,227.37. In this transfer, just to not confuse anybody or not do anything that you all are not wanting to do, I had included in there the transfer into the sheriff's subsidy, the $35,644.99 to cover his 2011 overages. I thought we were going to discuss that this meeting. So you can either decide to include that, or we can strike that from the total to move from reserves.
Are we moving toward getting these overages taken care of, or where are we? I mean,
I think with the sheriff's request for this coming fiscal year's increased subsidy, that it hopes to eliminate that. However, we would have to discuss, because his budget is calendar and ours is fiscal, it will affect this fiscal year's appropriations as well, because there would be probably another close to $110,000 that would take almost all of our reserves to increase his subsidy this fiscal year to the $438,900 that he had requested.
well, in light of the cuts we're having to do, I don't know, where does that leave us?
I mean, I think we're gonna discuss all that in the workshop this afternoon,
Okay.
but as much as we're trying to, and I think we have gone through the sheriff's budget and tried to look at
Right.
every possible cut, every month we have an equal amount to that in all these other categories that we don't know about until we see an overage report. And I
Right.
guess my question would be, is there not a way for somebody to say, we need to purchase this, we're going to be over, and that's gonna have to come out of reserves before it shows up on this sheet and we're faced with paying for something that's really
Yes.
already been spent, so
Right.
now we're
Right,
you
and
know.
that's my goal for next fiscal year, is we will have to adjust when bills come into
Okay.
us. We will have to get them several days earlier, because in the way our software works is we're gonna have to actually process those payments prior to your approval. However, date them on court date for your approval. If you all kick some out or something like that, we
Right.
can still change that. But then we will have to then import them into our county budget software, and then I will have to go through and make sure that nothing is over before we issue that payment.
Exactly.
Then, where we're doing it now, kinda after the fact.
Right, I
So
mean, we're
next
looking
fiscal
at
year,
this
I'm
and it's
hoping,
not
right,
optional.
and just like, for an example, there is only $450 left in the cemetery cleanup.
but we just approved $1,650 to be spent.
Right.
So you've got another $1,250 that's gonna have to come from reserves or somewhere else to cover that, and it's after the fact. So next fiscal year, I'm hoping to move us into being proactive about it. But it's kind
Well,
of been
yeah.
a transitioning process to get the departments to understand.
What their budget is and
Right.
where they are. And that's what's so difficult, because when we look at a line item like an approval for a cemetery fund, we don't
Right.
know what's in there until,
Right.
you know, we see this, and so it does make it difficult to know what's coming out and to avoid spending out of these reserves every month. Because I know we've been looking at that.
Of course, the tractors and mowers we approved some time ago. So we knew that was gonna hit.
Right, and we
but
knew
this-
that they were,
I
there's.
mean, that's been approved with the court, it's
Sure,
not
the
something that we
bigger
didn't.
expenses, I think we take time to discuss, but I think where we're seeing a problem is in all of, you know, 2,000 here, 3,000 here, 4,000 here adds
Right.
up at
Well,
the end
and
of the
these-
year.
A lot of these have bigger ones, like our audit fee. Our audit fee was $20,000 this
Over,
year.
right.
And what it is the auditors get they get backed up, and when, instead of one year we pay for one audit, the prior year, this year we've had to pay for 2.5, so
Right.
that, it
And that's
cre-
something we
creates
can't,
these issues.
well, that's something we can't account, I mean, we can't plan for that,
Right.
because we're at their mercy. That particular thing, I mean, that's, I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from, that
right.
whatever we can do to be ahead of the game instead of behind it. All right. You heard the request of our county treasurer, what's your pleasure? On the budget transfers,
Motion approved, Judge.
have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor of the motion say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. I would like to schedule our county road aid hearing. Russell, if you'd write this down, on May the 1st, 2012. That will be on our regular meeting day. I would like to set that hearing at 1:30 in the afternoon. We will advertise, we need to advertise that and get it in the paper. This is a requirement from the Department of Rural and Municipal Aid that we comply with that. If there's no objection, we'll set it at May 1st at 1:30 in the afternoon. You've all had an opportunity.
I have some more stuff that didn't get on the agenda somehow, but go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, then, what else have you got? It wasn't on the agenda, let's make sure we get them on the agenda.
Well, we didn't notice until right before time.
Okay.
Um,
Are these transfers or?
No.
these- Okay.
This is an encumbrance listing. These are bills that we are paying for, we actually paid for last court meeting that were actually for the prior quarter. I have to have these figures for a quarterly report that we're fixing to approve. General fund was $16,024.50. Road fund was $805.04. Jail fund was $6,103.77. And occupational tax fund was $11,151.19. And 911 fund, $142.96 for a total encumbrance for $34,227.46. Different one. That one.
So, what is it you're asking the court to approve?
Yes, please approve my encumbrance listing for the quarter ending March 31st, 2012.
Motion to approve, Judge.
We have a motion, is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
I've also submitted to you a copy of the treasurer's reports for March 31st, 2012.
Which report is it? This one?
This one. Treasurer's
You
report.
need a, all right, we'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report
Motion to approve, Judge.
as of 3/31/2012. Have a motion, is there a second? Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
I apologize, my final report is our quarterly report that we submit to the Department for Local Government, quarter ending March 31st, 2012.
That's this one, right?
Yes, sir.
That's that. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve the quarterly report?
Motion approved, Judge.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Are you through?
I'm through.
All right. Do you need this, one? Do I sign that one, or
No, we submit yours,
mine?
or,
It says my copy, that's your copy, right? Okay. All right, you've all had an opportunity to review the bills. Do I hear a motion to pay the bills?
Motion approved, Judge.
Have a motion to approve the bills, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. I would entertain a motion to recess this meeting and reconvene 1:30? 1:30, how long it take y'all to eat lunch?
One, I think is what we had listed.
Won't take a few extra, about 1:15, that'd be all right?
1:15 is fine with me.
Okay, with everybody?
What do we need to do with our video stuff? Do we need to, or,
Well, this is a work session.
I mean, it's a pretty important one. We're looking at cutting $2 million out of our budget. I don't know, how do y'all feel like that's something we should make available?
Doesn't matter to me, we're gonna tape it anyway, but the press has been notified, I think. Everybody got your notification, I think. And,
Are they staying?
That's what I'm asking. I would assume that would be, I mean,
I
it's
don't know
like
what
an
day of
extra
schedule
meeting.
is.
Yeah, I mean, is the court over? I mean, what we agreed to was to do fiscal court.
Yeah,
We're-
this will be a work session, but because we have a quorum, we have to notify the press that we are in session. It will be a work budget session.
But court's
That's what
over.
we did.
Yeah.
But,
In
yeah,
a minute.
yeah.
I mean, what we agreed to is that, do you want us to tape the other meeting?
Well, that's up to the court. I mean, I
We
think
would
it'd
have to
be,
charge.
well,
At
that's
the-
what I'm saying.
right.
You'd be due compensation.
At the same cost.
Yeah.
I would, I mean, we're talking about cutting $2 million out, and I think that's going to could potentially affect a lot of people. I personally would like people to know exactly what I say and how I say it, and in the context I've said it, and that would make me feel better, but,
How long will it, I know you don't know how long it'll last, but just roughly. Are we talking 5 o'clock
I
or
don't know, I'd say at least 2 hours.
At least,
what time you have to get Casey?
not till like 5 or 6.
Okay. We're available if you guys want it, but like I said, we'd have to charge what we charge for the court meeting.
understand, yeah, that's perfectly understandable. Would somebody,
I think I would make a motion that we make it available, considering the importance of it. I think it's $150. I think that's worth it. That's just my opinion, but I guess if we need a motion, I'd put it in the form of a motion that we have it videoed.
you heard the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
All right.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We'll be in recess till 1:15.
You want my
Excuse
opinion
me.
on this issue? On the
Not
cost?
really,
Okay.
but yeah, I do. I'm sorry. Sorry.
The KRS 242-4060 sets out the cost of the election shall be borne by the county. And further, in some cases since then, the Supreme Court has gone further to say that because it is a necessary governmental expense, it's a duty of the county to provide all necessary funds to meet. So since it doesn't specify differently, I would say that any cost bore as a result of this petition and under this statute would be the same, would be costs of the election.
What are we talking about? Newspaper?
Yeah, it's like two
ads?
publications.
Two publications? Okay.
And it's not the petition, it's just the order.
No, it's just,
The order,
yeah.
the election.
okay.
Yeah, it says specifically, there is no authorization for you or the clerk to publish the petition.
It falls on the court.
So it would be out of the court's.
So I just need to
It's
search.
actually coming out of your budget for publication.
Yeah.
Judge's office.
So it would come
You
out
get it
of,
within 5 days. You get it within 5 days.
all right. We'll be in recess.